Okay, guys, welcome to part 2 of this video. If you have not watched the previous video, you can see I am still here with Winnie James. We were talking about how she came to the UK on a family visa or a dependent visa, because she came as a spouse. Her husband was the one who got the skilled worker visa, and she and the children were able to get the family visa, and they are now here in the UK. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that video, and you will see the nice things that Winnie was talking about. But for today's video, I'm going to give Winnie yet another opportunity to introduce herself, just in case you did not manage to see or watch the previous video. I'm going to give her another opportunity to introduce herself and tell her who she is and where we can find her. Hi, Winnie.
Hi, Sharon.
Welcome again to Baraka Reality Media.
Thank you. I am humbled to be here. Hi, guys, and I hope you're doing well. My name is Winnie James, aka Wisma, aka Wismairo. That is how they call me. I am a mother, I am a wife, I'm a YouTuber, and I am humbled to be here on this platform. Yes.
Wow. Welcome, Winnie, and welcome to the UK. I know you're still young in the UK, so it is right to still continue welcoming you here in the UK.
Thank you.
In the previous video, we left where we were going to talk about how you have now settled, you and the children here in the UK. Mm-hmm. And I want us to talk about the process of getting schools for your children and registering them with the GP, mm-hmm. what your experience was. So okay. Maybe if we just begin with finding schools, mm-hmm. What was the process of finding children's schools when you got here?
Well, when I got here, the process was not easy and wasn't hard. Because back home, okay, I love going back so that you can compare the notes. Yes. Because back home, you just walk in a school and you say, this is what I want, or this one I will not take. Here, you don't go to a school and say, I have a son or I have a daughter and I want you to admit, I like the school and I want you to admit my son for this school. Here, you have to go through the council. You apply online. I don't know if previously, before COVID, it was the same. Maybe you can tell us.
Yeah, no, you apply through the council. All schools are applied through the local council.
Was it online even before COVID?
Even before it was online, yes. All applications for schools were always done online.
So you apply online. So before I applied for the slot for my son, I had to go first to register with the GP, because they will ask you about your proof of address. So when we came here...
Wait, Winnie, but actually I've remembered way before, but that's many years ago. They used to do paper forms, but mm-hmm. that was when my son was in primary school years mm-hmm. ago. They used to do paper forms, but then they moved from paper forms a long time, and, mm-hmm. and everything went online. So for a good, I think 10 years, I can remember it has been online.
Yes, I first went to the GP because I was told, well, I had people who were guiding me because they had come here earlier and they had gone them through the process. So they knew a bit of the admission process. So they told me that one of the requirements is the proof of address. Mm-hmm. And when we got here, we did not have a house. We were still searching for a house, mm-hmm. and we wanted our children, of course, to go to school even before we got the house. So the proof of address for us, we had to go first to do the GP because we did not have a letter of the landlord. Mm-hmm. So if we would say that we are renting this house and it is not our house, the school will require the landlord saying that, yes, we are from this home. Yes, he's the one who has rented us a house, or rather the school would ask for the this, what do you call it, the lease agreement.
Oh, the lease agreement. Okay.
Yes, the school would ask for the lease agreement or the agreement, rent agreement or something. So instead of going that route, because we were not living in our own house, we went through the GP. That was easier for us.
Oh,
the
yeah,
proof
because
of
you have a
address was the
GP
same.
registration. Okay.
Yes, so we registered with the GP. Ndio mtu asisikie kama ni Greek ninaongea. The GP ni daktari wa mtu. Yes.
Family doctor.
Yes, it's like a family doctor. It's a general practitioner.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
It's
yeah,
a doctor, general practitioner. So you have to register with a GP first before. No, I had to, because it doesn't have to be the same with someone else. As we had to go first through the GP so that we can prove we have the proof of the address when we are registering online. So we went to the GP first. It took 2 weeks and then after they accepted us, now I went to the council, our local council portal, and then I just went through this. They asked for the proof of address, so I did put the photo of the GP letter that we have been accepted. So they ask you if you're renting or something. They ask
if
those
you're a
questions.
homeowner, if you're renting.
Yes, they still ask those questions, or if you're living with a friend or a family. They ask if the school in the same school, if your son or your daughter has a brother or a sister or something, other siblings in that school. Yeah, they ask you that. What else did they ask? And why you want your son or your daughter to go to that school.
Did you have to do 3 choices of schools? Or did you just
they gave us the 3 choices, and the one that you would want most, the other one that you would want to be put in a waiting list, and of course another one, if you don't get these 2, the third option, which option would you if you don't get the first 2, then you can go to option 3. But at least the first 2, if you don't get the slot, they can put you in a waiting list. And if you don't, by the way, put that this school you would want to be in a waiting list. And maybe for us, let me say, like for me, we got the slot for my son. And then when we shifted, because it did not take us long before we got a house. When we shifted, I really wanted my son to change the school, because the other school is just 5 minutes from us. 5-minute walk. But when I applied, I did not put that school as I did not put that I want us to be on the waiting list. So when I went back to the council, they told me, you've applied in this year twice. So you cannot
apply for the same year twice.
Yes. So, and you did not put that you want to be on the waiting list. So you have to wait until next year. So yeah, so if you're applying and you think the first option, if you get it and you don't get it, the second one you would prefer, make sure you write or you say that you would want to be on the waiting list.
Very important there, we need to note that the schools are dependent on the address. Of course, you didn't know where you were going to end up getting a house, which is why they normally say a school is dependent on the address, because the GP doesn't have to be like me, where you are. Have GPs from a wider radius than where the school is, and then what schools would normally look at. So that is why they normally look at the address when they are approving schools, because they want to keep the children to as nearer the school, nearer the home address as possible. And then also there's the fact there's another factor to consider, whether the school is good. So there are people who check whether the school is good and then go and live near that area so that the children can go to a school that is good, that is in that area, because the only way you can get to that school is if you live in that area. Just giving you guys tips.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the process took 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
For them to approve. They said because of COVID, it is taking longer than the usual. So it took, I think, 8 weeks, and then he got admitted.
So within those 6 to 8 weeks, they were already in the country. They were not going to school. Did they get homeschooling?
No, we came COVID time, so I think that one would not have happened.
Oh, that's that. Everybody was the kids were all at home during doing homeschooling, all of them. All right, okay. So in terms of the schools that you had selected, did you get the first choice, or did you get did you have
the
to
last
do
one
an appeal?
No, I got the first choice, by the way.
Oh, lucky.
Yes. And the second one that I had chose, that is where now we live near. That is what I would prefer.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I have to wait for next year to reapply.
Wait for September. Yeah. Wow. But you can wait for September because it goes September to September. So it depends on
they said I can do January.
Yeah.
I can do January so that they can put me on waiting list if they don't have a slot.
Yeah.
If they do have a slot, then he can be admitted. It is still okay.
Yeah. Awesome. You were lucky that you didn't have to go through the appeal. Some people, by the way, it is not automatic that the school you apply to is the one that you're going to get. People get rejected, and then you have to go through an appeals process, which also takes time. Because I remember when
Why would one be rejected?
Well, because they normally tell you they don't have spaces. They only take 30 pupils in each class. And then here in the UK is different. The teacher is assigned for those 30 people. If they go beyond that, the school has to employ an extra person for the extra children that are in that class. And the local authority has to approve. So that is why you normally go through the appeals process to see if the council is going to pay for an extra teacher or an extra teacher support, because the teacher has an extra pupil that they're not supposed to have. For my case, I remember when we moved into this new area, when I applied for schools for my children, one of them got and the other one did not get. And I had to go through the appeals process. So you write letters, you write the reasons why you think that your child is better in that school and not in another school. Of course, it was going to be tedious taking 2 children in 2 different schools, and I'm still working full time. So those are the reasons I gave. But luckily for me, because my daughter had been accepted, they now use the sibling, because if you have a sibling in that school, you get a point. So I had a point because there was a sibling in that school. And so I ended up getting, but just to let you know, guys, it's not automatic. If you ever come here and you're told by schools that they don't have spaces, it's not that they have anything against you.
It's the council deal, eh?
It's a council deal, yeah, because all schools, you have to go through the council, and the council then tells the school that somebody has made an application for your school. Are you going to accept? So the schools then tells them, no, we don't have spaces, or we have spaces. So the council is like the middleman between you and the school. You cannot go to school directly to apply. Yeah. But you see, now schools are governed by the education, so the local council. So that is why the council is always in the middle there. Yeah.
But they did say that I can go to the school and ask if they have a slot.
Yeah, you can do that. You can go to the school and ask.
If you had applied, not just walking.
You can ask, but the admission will only come from the council. At the end of the day, admission is guaranteed by the council. And then now it's the school who write the letter to let you know that we have accepted you're accepted to admit your child.
Yeah,
so even if you go to the school and ask them, they cannot admit without going through the council.
Because it is the council basically pays them.
Yes. Even for schools that are Catholic, because there are schools that are Catholic, so those are not even run by the council because they're Catholic schools. But even for those, you have to go through the council. The only schools I think you don't go through the council is like private schools.
Yeah.
I think those are the only ones you go directly to the school, but you pay for those ones.
Yeah, those ones you pay.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that they call them, it's like international school, because you see most of, let's say, politicians' kids from back home, they bring their kids here to school here.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are the schools now.
Yeah, those are the schools now. They're very costly.
Yeah, they are very costly. But for us here, mwananchi wa kawaida, it is free.
Yeah, free. That's what I wanted you to confirm. So it is, you can confirm that schools here are free. You're not paying anything.
Free. Kama wewe ni mwananchi wa kawaida, it is free. And when you hear it is free, it is not like Kibaki's. Okay, sorry. It is not like back in our country where school, it is free, but there is no good resources in the school. Here, the school is like a university, and it is a high school. They go to laboratory, they have a computer lab, they have everything. They have art classes. When I went for the, what do you call them? When I went for the parent evening, I was taken through the not the class teachers, the tutors. So this is a mathematics teacher, this is what. So as you go, you understand that they don't learn from one class.
Yes.
If it is let me tell you guys, I love it. I love it here in the UK, especially when it comes to schools. Not that they are perfect, not that walimu wanachapa watoto ndio wasome. Hawasukumi watoto masomo. Ati mtoto anakuja nyumbani akiumwa na kichwa kwa sababu amebeba a whole bag full of homework. No. But what I like about it, it is the way they take it, it's the way they take them through, because now the way they process things, it is different. Why am I saying this? Because they have a timetable every Monday morning, and they know that every day, every minute, this is where I'm going to do the next class. I am doing science. I am going to class 5A. The next session, I am doing history. I am going to class B2. So they are not like grouped in one class and just waiting for teachers. You know, when I was schooling, that is what we used to do. You stay in where when you are class 8 red, and where when you are red. So you stay there, the science teacher comes, the English teacher comes, and they just sit and wait. Here it is different.
Yeah.
It is like university. You're doing this, you go to that class. Today we are doing art, we go to the other class. So when the child is getting out of the house every morning, they know how their timetable is like. So they have their own diary. They know 10 o'clock, I am doing this and this. So to me, why I like it, it is because even when they become adults, they are able to plan themselves with hours and sessions and whatever is happening, because they've been trained to have a diary since in primary school. Not like us. We came to start using the diary when we are big. It is even difficult to use
and
it
computers.
In the day, you know? Yes. So for them, they are being trained how to use the diary. This is what is happening in my life. Today is the day of swimming club lesson. So I know after class, this is what is happening. It is not just coming. I like the way they handle them like they are human beings, or they are not. It's like they understand what is happening. That is what I like most about it. Because when a child does this, they take them through the talking. It is not like they are like, where kuja na huku, where do I see it, you know? No, they take it as serious as if they are talking to me.
It's true. It's true.
And I
They
like
give
it.
children a lot of independence.
Yes.
And they like them to think for themselves. They don't force them. Like you mentioned about during like sport days, whether it is swimming or PE, they know that that day they will carry an extra pair of clothes for PE or for swimming. You don't even have to remind them. They already know. They don't even know what their timetable is. Okay, they send you as a parent, they'll send you a copy, but the children is their responsibility. They have been taught it is your responsibility to know what lessons you're going to attend. And if they don't take like the PE kit, they get detention for that. So next time, they will not forget. But you're right. They teach them responsibility from very young. So by the time they're going to the university, that is like the norm for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like it that they do all those things.
Yeah.
The part that I don't like is that they don't reach out when your baby is not doing well. You will not know what they are not doing well and what they are doing well until the end of the term when they send you the results.
But you can request if you have any concerns, what normally schools will tell you. If you have any concerns that your child is not maybe learning well, you can always contact. There's always, what do they call them? Like a lead teacher, a form lead. So you don't even
when you
have
call,
to
they say, well, maybe it's because we've not been here for long.
Yeah.
So they will say, yeah, he's catching up. He's catching up.
Yeah, but you can request for a meeting. You can always request for a meeting if there's anything that you feel like maybe your child is lagging behind. You can either email them or you can go to school and ask to speak to the form lead, and you will have a discussion with them. And then if they need like one-to-one tuition, they're very good here in offering that one-to-one. So you can always request for that. By the way, let me tell you, here you have to ask. If you don't ask, they will just assume everything is okay. So everything here is ask, speak yourself until you get, what you want. Wow.
Yeah, so that's the difference between here and home, because back home, if your child is on in a private school, the teachers will always reach out. Here is the opposite. A parent has to reach out. Home, the teachers will reach out and tell you, your son is not doing this in Swahili. Can you look into it? Can you buy 1, 2, 3? So yeah. And by the way, here, I don't know about Manchester, but here they don't ask for the textbooks. Neither do they ask for the exercise book.
The only thing you send even exercise books they are given in school. You have to buy exercise books in your
no exercise book, no textbook. The only thing I buy is the pens. The karamus.
Yeah, it's true that, and that is why I like you said that you might think because schools are free, they don't have the resources. They have resources like private schools, maybe back in Kenya. They get everything, books, computers in school, all the equipments they need to study. Children here will get all those for free here in school. So the standard of education is very, very high, even though you don't have to pay. So don't think because it is free that the education system is not good. No, it is actually very, very good. And in fact, even the private schools we were talking about, the only reason they pay is because those are like boarding schools.
Yeah.
And that is the reason, because of course there is extra expenses of having your children in a boarding schools. That is why they pay. I don't think it's more for the lessons, it's more for the accommodation. And then they go out like abroad, they go to trips. School takes them out to go and do educational trips, which of course even in other schools, they have those things. Like I know my school, they were going just before COVID, they were going to Barcelona. And that trip only got cancelled because of COVID. But those opportunities are available in any school, especially high schools.
I also like the part of the cultural days.
Cultural days, yes.
Yes, because they encourage the kids to come with their food or the dressing,
Yeah.
or if there is anything that you observe as a certain from a certain community, you can even forward whatever you practice and you esteem to the teacher, and they can observe that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That is so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they like teaching children different cultures so that
Yes.
they don't just know only one culture, they get to know even other culture. I know the other day my daughter was telling me they were learning things about Kenya. So she came to tell me they were learning geography, and their teacher was talking about Kenya, and she was like, but she didn't know I have been to Kenya already. So some of the things she was saying is not true. I said, what was she saying? And she was saying that they don't have schools there, that children go to schools under trees, and that's not true.
Yeah, because the only part they see it is Turkana.
Yes. Yeah, so I said
they don't know there are good schools back there.
Yeah, I said you should have challenged your teacher and say you have been to Kenya and you did not see children going to school under trees.
I know.
Yeah, but I think the reason why they try to integrate is if you have, of course, that experience, they'll want you to share that experience with other children.
Yes.
Not just what they see on the TV, but maybe what you know, which of course you have the first-hand experience.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to give accurate information. Wow. Okay. It's getting hotter and interesting, guys. We have to end this conversation here, and we will come back on part 3 of this video. So please don't miss out and learn more about what to look out for when you relocate in the UK.